All right, joining me now, William Barr, Bill Barr, former U.S. Attorney General, twice U.S. Attorney General, author of The One Damn Thing After Another, Memoirs of an Attorney General. It's an absolutely terrific, fabulous book. Bill Barr, welcome. I do want to talk to you about these crazy regulatory goings-on that's going to destroy the automobile system and the fossil fuels. But here we are with this little punk captured. You can probably tell something because I know you're a big hawk on all these intelligence matters. This guy's kind of like Snowden. I don't know, out of the blue, he's just got this low-level position, but he had access, the best I can determine, the Massachusetts Air Force National Guard or some such thing. And then he just releases all this information, which is quite valuable. What do you make of it, Bill Barr?
Well, for one thing, the department obviously got some very good information. These are usually very hard to crack, but they were able to move fairly quickly to identify this guy. And as you say, it's a terrible example of leaking classified information. This was very sensitive information that included not only intelligence, but military dispositions and diplomatic matters relating to some of our allies and so forth. So it's a very grave violation. But it also shows how we have to tighten up on classified information generally. I mean, we're too promiscuous in the way we let sensitive information fan out at all levels of the government, in the defense establishment, and in the intelligence community. Too many people have access to it. And this should be a big wake-up call that a 21-year-old Air National Guardsman in Massachusetts got access to this kind of information. I also don't think this is necessarily the end of the story because just reading from the newspapers, and I have no inside information, it appears that he certainly appears to have been someone who got this out onto this this gaming site. But there may have been other people involved taking it from that group and putting it elsewhere on social media. So I'm not sure that the whole investigation is over. This guy may have done all of that, but someone else may have gotten this information off the net and moved it to other sites. And we have to also look at how we think the Russians got a hold of some of it and then engaged in disinformation by doctoring some of those documents.
Bill, our David Spunt mentioned this. Does this go into the military justice system where, in all likelihood, information, investigations for the public use will be scarce? Or does this stay in the Department of Justice, I'll call it the civilian justice system?
I think we could do it either place, and I'm not sure, frankly, what kind of considerations may come into play. It could be done under either regime. The Department of Justice has prosecuted military people before for leaking national defense information. But I'm not sure what considerations would come to bear here.
What kind of punishment is this going to merit? This guy's a traitor, right? It's like, as I mentioned earlier, it's a bit like Snowden, who's actually living in Moscow. Ironically, on television, A Spy Among Friends has been playing in recent months. Phil B. McClain and Burgess and Blunt and all that stuff. Now, this guy's some low-level punk, but he did it. And you're right, there may be others involved in it. Is this treason?
Well, personally, I think anyone who takes classified, serious national defense information that can injure the United States and releases it, is, betraying the country, fundamentally betraying the country. Treason is a legal term that applies to things that happen when you're engaged in a military conflict, but to me, there's no more serious crime against the country than this kind of behavior. I'm not jumping to the conclusion this man is guilty. He's just been arrested. But whoever did this really deserves to have the full weight of the law brought down on them.
Is that life imprisonment?
Yeah, it could be, yes.
Or he has to flee the country. But he's not going to flee the country because he's in custody. So it's not really a Snowden kind of case. I'll bet you.
We hope not.
No, that's right. But your other point, I want to get to the crazy EPA regulations in a minute because I know you got a new job, and I'm proud of you for getting new employment. But I do want to just, that was a joke. I do want to just dwell on this for 1 second. Good. I guess there's a delay in the thing. Good. You laughed. That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, U.S. always seems like it needs to crack down more. You ask yourself how this low-level kid who was in just communications in the Massachusetts Air Force State Air Force Guard, how the heck, you know, where's the Defense Department on this? Where's the DNI on this? These things shouldn't happen, and they do happen, and I know they happen periodically, but I think I'm scratching my head. I think a lot of people are scratching their head about this whole story.
I agree. I mean, even going back to Snowden, that should have been the wake-up call there, how this contractor got possession of so much critical information, and now we see a replay of that. The trouble is can summed up in one word, which is the government has just become behemoth bureaucracies that are incapable of seem to be incapable of self-reform. Which is why, you know, there needs to be a strong executive that can shake up these bureaucracies. Yeah,
agreed. 100% agreed. Well, we'll see as the information comes in. So, anyway, let's go back to your story. The American Free Enterprise Chamber of Commerce launches the Center for Legal Action. Two-time former Attorney General Bill Barr to serve as advisory board chair. That's why I'm so proud of you. You finally got work after your government service. Just kidding. We're friends.
Well, this... yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, I can't help myself.
Yeah, that's right.
But
well, you know Terry Branstad,
yes,
a great governor from
love
Iowa,
Terry
6 terms, and
I just want to say how much I adore him. I love him. He was the greatest ambassador to China, too. We worked so closely together, and he's a fabulous man. Fabulous man.
Right. So he got this operation off the ground, and the idea is a association that will represent from very smallest businesses in the United States to the very largest businesses, fight for the free enterprise system and resist the onslaught of job-killing, growth-killing regulation that is increasing in our country, and stand up for the free enterprise system and defend, American competitiveness, American prosperity, and American growth. He asked me to advise him on setting up this legal action group, the Center for Legal Action, and so I'm going to chair its advisory committee and help him get this function up and running. I think there's a strong need for it today because we see these regulations increasing. And the one you mentioned, the EPA regulation that is supposed to transform the United States by forcing the adoption of electrical vehicles. They themselves say it's ambitious and aggressive. When a bureaucracy says that, that means it's overreaching. And so that's an example of the kind of transformative regulation that is occurring and bypasses the democratic process. This is made by bureaucrats, usually acting far beyond the scope of the statute that is their authorization.
Well, that's a key point.
So these rules will be challenged.
Right there, I know you're just starting out. By the way, the whole story is wonderful. You and Terry Branstad and the mission of this group. It's absolutely terrific. Many congratulations. But, Bill, just off the top of your head, and I know you haven't investigated it properly, the EPA and these, tailpipe regulations, they are basically, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, they are basically taking over the automobile industry, which is the 5th largest industry in this country, and destroying the fossil fuel industry in the process. And so my question is, it's a very low-level question, but you have the Supreme Court decision, EPA versus West Virginia, that stipulates if you don't have a clear congressional law, then these regulatory agencies just can't run wild. Do you think that any laws allow, specific laws, legislation, allow the EPA to do what they want to do? Or do you think maybe you can build a terrific case to stop them?
No, I think there is a terrific case to stop them, and I think you hit the nail right on the head. The first question is, are they really authorized to do this? And to me, this is very much a replay of West Virginia case you mentioned. There, the EPA tried to take over the American energy business and specify how energy companies had to shift to renewables and stop using fossil fuels. And they tried to do that through their emissions standards, and they came up with a clean energy plan, and that was struck down by the Supreme Court, saying that goes way beyond what you're authorized to do. You can regulate emissions coming out of tailpipes of cars, but you can't, take over the energy business and force them to make certain decisions. And this seems to be a replay of that. They're trying to take over the automobile industry, as the Wall Street Journal just said. It's really trying to make the automobile industry a utility where the bureaucrats dictate what's going to be produced.
Anyway,
I think that's. Yeah.
No, I gotta let you go. I gotta run here too. First of all, congratulations on your new position. Thank you for some commentary on this crazy leak story, military intelligence leak. And I wish you luck going after the EPA. I wish you luck. This stuff's got to stop. These guys are going to bring down the whole economy and the whole country. This is left-wing central planning.
That's right.
And look, you know it as well as I do. Anyway, William Barr, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We will talk soon. Great.